Hello, everyone. My name is Ash Bajpai, and I'm part of the analytics product management team here at Oracle. Hope all of you are doing well and staying safe wherever you are. It's a pleasure to have Jamie and Nanta join us for this session. They are both from Greystar, an Oracle customer actively using Oracle's ERP cloud applications. Welcome, Jamie and Nanta. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Today's discussion is going to be focused on how to get actionable insights from your ERP cloud data to help drive top-line growth and bottom-line performance. We'll start off with a brief discussion on finance opportunities, and I will introduce you to Oracle Analytics for Fusion ERP, our new product. We'll show you a quick demo. After that, we'll move to the more exciting section here with Greystar sharing their story about their analytics journey. So let's dive in. Many of our partners and research organizations invest in conducting CFO research every year. Let me share a couple of observations. The role of CFOs and finance has been changing rapidly. In past, the focus was on closing books, more on the operational finance and accounting aspects. Then in the last few decades, we added the expectation to be a business partner. This is where FP&As play a critical role. However, as we look to the future, CFOs will play a pivotal role in driving strategy. They will own the digital agenda, will be asking for agility, and really be the champion for being a data-driven organization. That translates to high expectations from finance, which is great because we have a real opportunity to help our businesses grow profitably. Now, as you guys all know, we are in the midst of a crisis right now with COVID-19. I hear from many of our customers who are having to make tough decisions. Finance professionals are helping figure out how to solve the liquidity and cash flow issues, and it involves analyzing a lot of data to help drive business decisions. So keeping that in perspective as well, if you take a step back and think about what are the roadblocks and what's holding us back, there are a few things which are useful here. While the business case for being data-driven is clear, and there's abundance of data in each enterprise, majority of the organizations are struggling. There are issues around skill set. Technology has been evolving fairly rapidly, and it has been hard for some of our IT teams to keep up with that. There's debate about, why your data is different than mine, because there's no single source of truth. And information management processes are not streamlined. In essence, there are a few real problems to be solved here. And we think that we have the responsibility to help our customers. Oracle provides a complete reporting and analytics solution for ERP cloud customers by answering questions for everyone in the organization, irrespective of your role. We see the analytics need falling really in two broad segments: run the business and guide the business. On left, you see run the business aspects, where finance team uses analytics and reporting to support the day-to-day operations at the transaction grain. In this case, they need real-time transaction reporting, which is embedded with your Oracle ERP cloud application. On right, you see the guide the business aspects. This is where our new offering called OAX fits in, where it's about providing more strategic analysis and insights to help guide management executives to take the business forward. These use cases involve looking at a lot of data to understand root cause of problems, getting a perspective on historical trends, predicting the future trends based on data from a diverse set of data sources, including non-Oracle data. To summarize, Oracle offers a complete solution for everyone in finance. So what is OAX? Let's talk a little bit more about that. Oracle Analytics for Applications, or OAX, is a prepackaged turnkey solution for Oracle Cloud customers. So if you run ERP Cloud, HCM Cloud, CX, or supply chain, then this is for you. It leverages the power of Oracle Analytics Cloud and Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud to solve the advanced analytics use cases. Oracle has invested heavily in both these technologies, and they're highly rated by customers and analysts. Our goal is to enable customers to maximize the value of their ERP cloud data, really help them get beyond the transactional reporting use cases. And we do that by helping a diverse set of users get connected insights from a diverse set of data sources. We offer our customers speed and agility and quick time to value based on the prepackaged content that comes with the product. Now, what is this prepackaged content that I'm talking about? Well, if you think about finance, our customers are focused on monitoring the performance of their organization as against the most important financial goal they have set out for the company. We provide out-of-box KPIs to support an understanding of how is your organization doing on P&L metrics. We support balance sheet use cases. We have financial ratios. If you're concerned about working capital, then you can get payables and receivables related insights. That's also supported. And by the way, you consume all these key performance indicators in a very easy to use, visual, very personalized way using the application that we provide. Now, all the KPIs that I just talked about allows you to monitor the performance at the highest level, which is great. But when you have problems, when you have issues, you want to get to deeper insights. And you do that by leveraging the reports, the dashboards that we provide as drill down for the KPIs. These reports are designed to understand why specific metrics are trending one way or the other. And more importantly, you are enabled to connect the dots from finance to HR to sales to get to a high confidence decision on what actions to take. When you're trying to solve the most important problems in your organization, you would find immensely useful when finance, HR, sales is all available in one place. All of this data is available in a single database. This enables you to understand and analyze the different aspects of the same business problem with your own lens, but from the common data foundation. What's more interesting, OX not only supports the Oracle Cloud sources like HR, finance, sales, SCM, but you can also extend to bring in data from other sources like Salesforce or Workday. Does it sound too good to be true? Let me explain to you a little bit more. This picture demonstrates how the SaaS benefits on the left-hand side are leveraged while empowering you to extend to non-Oracle sources on the right-hand side. On left, we provide an Oracle managed data service where we pull data from ERP cloud using the packaged data pipeline and serve you this data using financial analytics warehouse, which is pre-built for you. The warehouse is where you have star schema-based data model, and pipeline leverages a lot of components like BICC, UCM, and to be honest, you as a customer don't care about the underlying architecture as much because Oracle provides this as an Oracle managed service delivering ready to consume financial data in the package schema. Now, on top of that, you see a pre-packaged semantic model supporting metrics, KPIs, reports, and dashboards. Now, as ERP Cloud gets upgraded every quarter, going from 20A to 20B to 20C, our pipeline service and warehouse still works as we pre-certify with the Fusion releases. Now, on the right side, we allow you to use an ETL tool of your choice to pull data from any data source to the same data warehouse, just a different schema. And then you create analytics on top of the combined data. Now, here is a quick demo of OAX. As a financial analyst, I have created a deck called My P&L, which I use to track the important P&L metrics. I'm interested in learning about OPEX, so I quickly drill to the details there by hitting the edit button. Now, on the left-hand side, you see the powerful semantic model with all my facts and dimensions available in one place. I'm going to pick payroll cost measure and drop to my chart because payroll is a significant part of my OpEx, and I want to analyze that every time I look at OpEx. Now I go to a Canvas 2. Here I'm going to pick all my P&L metric, and I will create a horizontal P&L analysis that is very popular with my finance audience. And by the way, when I go to add data set, I see all my subject areas which are available for me for analysis. I can create connections to any kind of a database. There are tons of options available to me to connect to a diverse set of data sources. And I can use those data sources to enrich my analysis. Now, that was a lot packed into a very quick demo. But for a moment, think about the life of a financial or business analyst who have to do a lot of this work manually. Let's step into their shoes and understand what it takes. You extract the data from the source system. You spend a lot of time massaging and preparing the data. Many of you are, Excel ninjas, some not by choice. And then you create the graphs and charts, and then you analyze and add notations to explain the variances. By the way, most of the data you're using here is sensitive financial information, and often you take special care of where you store these files, who gets to see them. But with OAX, all of this gets simplified, right? You spend little time in provisioning, setting up the environment, all of which is a one-time investment. But when you have all your time available to do the analysis, by the time you're up and running, you have all of your ERP cloud data available in the single warehouse with a powerful semantic model, so you can just start to analyze, right? Now, all of your time is spent on analysis. And the best part is you can extend to bring in data from other sources and add more value, right? Create more valuable content and add more value to your analysis. Now, based on our estimates, you obviously have the option of doing this yourself. And based on our estimates, if you are trying to build a warehouse on your own, leveraging some third-party technology for ETL, for data warehousing, for visualization, it'll take you at least 6 times of the effort it takes to implement OAX for financials. And it will cost you with OAX at least 50% of what it costs to do it yourself. So it makes a lot of sense for you to actually leverage OAX as a prepackaged financial analytics product, because it's going to give you quick time to value and a TCO advantage. Now, let me spend a couple of times talking about our roadmap. Many of our customers are interested in getting a good view of direct, indirect, and service spend for their organization. We plan to ship a version 1 of the spend analysis offering pretty soon. Then we will expand on that to provide a version 2, which to add procurement analytics. This is all planned for the next 6 months. Now, when you look at our content roadmap, next month we have a release shipping where we plan to support DFFs, reporting currencies, besides quite a few other features. So this is what kind of rounds off the offerings around payables, receivables, and GL. And in the next 6 months, we talked about spend and procurement. In addition to that, we also want to start adding projects. And once we have accomplished procurement and projects analytics, then we will expand out to other ERP cloud sources. If you look at our roadmap from an extensibility standpoint, which is top of mind for many of our customers and partners, in May release, the release coming out next month, we are adding a feature called enrichment, which will allow you to pull data from VOs directly to the warehouse. And we have a couple of new features to add custom facts, organized subject areas. And then we have many more features coming on the application experience. But we don't have a ton of time to dive into each one of these features, but in the future sessions, we will provide you more detailed information on these sessions. And we don't have a lot of time to dive into it because we want to hear from our customer speakers. It's exciting for us to build all the cool new features, but nothing delights us more than hearing from customers, getting tangible business value out of our products. And with that in mind, I'll hand it over to Jamie and Nanta.
My name is Jamie Johnson. I'm a corporate accounting manager at Greystar. I've worked at Greystar for 4 years, and for some of that time, I was a subject matter expert during our implementation of Oracle ERP Cloud, and that was back in 2018. And so I continue to support the corporate accounting group and finding efficiencies in ERP, but recently I've also focused on implementing OAX and also building analytics in OAX. And I'll pass it on to Nantha now.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm Nanta Kumar Srinivasan. I have been with Greystar since 2016, working as a manager of business systems. I'm part of the Greystar Enterprise Applications Group. Me and my team manage and support the Oracle Cloud applications for Greystar.
Great, thanks, Nantha. So we'll first start off with a little bit about Greystar. Greystar is a global rental housing company, and we offer expertise in property management, investment management, and development. And then we also operate in 4 different global regions, which would be the United States, Europe, Latin America, and our Asia Pacific region. So our top business challenges and opportunities tend to be, at least for the corporate accounting group, is being able to grow with the changes that happen in our company. Both economic booms and downturns historically have been opportunities for growth for us. With booms, we increased development projects and new regions. And then with downturns, historically, we've increased our acquisitions of other companies. And with this, we must be agile in our response to this growth for monthly financial reporting. With our Oracle Fusion ERP implementation a few years ago, we already accomplished some of this by using the dimension trees and hierarchies in ERP to structure our data in a way that our executives want to see it. But we needed an expanded platform for recurring and ad hoc and analytical graphical requests for the executives and for other people in our company. So why Oracle Analytics for ERP? It was around probably a little after this time last year, and we really started seeing a need for it, some sort of analytical tool. And our company is actually, a lot of the groups in our company are using Microsoft Power BI. And we attended a training session on it, and we were pretty nervous. The data maintenance aspect was really scary. From an accounting standpoint, I'm an accountant at the end of the day. I don't want to have to manipulate all this data just to get it to where I need it to be. And I know it's in ERP. I just want to get a graph, right? So that was really nerve-wracking for us. And then thankfully we went to the Oracle Open World 2019, and we learned about OAX, Oracle Analytics for Applications. And we learned that it pretty much solved our biggest fear, and it would automatically pull that data from ERP into a system that we could use and be agile in. So the main benefits of OAX for Greystar would be that there's very minimal user manipulation. It integrates directly with Oracle ERP. It grabs those hierarchies that I was talking about earlier. We can use those to learn what we want to see, what types of graphs we want to use. There's definitely a significant decreased turnaround time for ad hoc requests and financial reviews by providing current, historical, and forward-looking trends and analytics. And then also customized data visualizations. It allows for standardized and specialized analytics across business segments, which is pretty important given that we have so many different lines of business and so many different regions. You have people that want to see different things, but then at the end of the day, at the highest level, we want to see different types of graphs so we can compare them, to each other. The other thing would be it connects with our third party and non-financial data. Not everything's in our ERP system because we use Oracle ERP financials. Something like headcount is not in there. Something like assets under management for the amount of investment properties that we manage on ERP. So being able to connect that type of data was really important to us, and OIX can do that. So here's a screenshot. I've redacted some of the numbers here, but of the DEX area of Greystar's use of OIX. You can see that across the top, we have some they're called decks, like corporate data points, our consolidated level view, our United States view, property management view, etc. And that's coming directly from our hierarchies that we've built out in ERP. So basically, for every single view that we want to see, we have a deck. And then within these decks, you can see cards. So the cards are that we have our revenue, which is the actual versus budget, our operating expenses, our EBITDA, and then another graph that shows like the relationship between EBITDA and OPEX and the EBITDA margin percent. These were what we identified were our main things that we had to show. We needed to show them in a very quick way so that whenever our executives have a question, or even just when we have a question, we can quickly pull them up without having to do all these manipulations. So what's nice about that DEX area is that you can drill into further graphs that you may want to custom make for yourself. So this is an example, and then the following slides after this are an example of that. So what we have here is our operating expenses analytic. And so this is in the analytics area of Oracle Analytics for Applications. And we needed a way to show, okay, what's our operating expenses compared to our revenue? We want to see, hey, what makes up our operating expenses? Is it payroll? Is it other operating expenses, allocations that we send out to different groups? And we were basically just built that out in here, and it connects to that card that is our operating expenses card. And here's another analytic that we have attached to our operating expense card. Something that I didn't point out in the last slide, but also applies to this slide, is that we use both custom and out-of-the-box measures for operating expenses. So for example, that payroll and related costs, that is a out-of-the-box measure that comes with OAX, but maybe something a little bit more customized like payroll and related costs as a percent of revenue. That's something that we'd like to see, so we incorporated that into our graph. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying both custom and out-of-the-box measures. And being able to just quickly create that was so cool and so valuable to us. So here's another slide that another analytic that gets attached to our card for revenue. Here you can see that we've done a trailing 12 comparison of our revenue versus budgeted revenue, which is pretty cool because you can see it trending at the bottom. You can see, okay, there's some variances, but being able to just create something that we can look at month after month and see where we are aligned to actuals and budgets is really nice and convenient for us. So we don't have to spend all this time month after month creating something from data that we have to manipulate. It's once we create the visual, it's done for us month after month. So this next analytic is attached to our EBITDA card, and we have a line of business breakdown. And then we also have a quarterly line of business breakdown. Being able to see that type of information is very valuable. And once again, this type of information is like line of business. It's integrated into our hierarchies. And so being able to just pull it out and create a graph for that so quickly, and it updates with ERP. We don't have to do anything. It just refreshes with ERP. It's wonderful to have. This analytic would be attached to our third-party data card or deck that we have. And so there's not a ton of information here. Obviously, we would normally have some numbers in here to make it a little bit more valuable, but we wanted to keep it simple for the sake of this presentation. But we have this headcount information that is derived from data from Workday, and being able to just pull it into OAX is so easy, and having it here next to the same data that we have in in OAX, our financial data is nice. You don't have to switch applications. You don't have to do anything. You're in that OAX application. You can see your third-party data, but you can also see your ERP data at the same time. So a few takeaways from our implementation. The first thing was it was so quick and simple to do. It was the fastest. I mean, going through our ERP implementation, this was a breeze, very quick, and was so fast that actually once it was implemented, we were, as the corporate accounting group, we needed to figure out what we really wanted to do because there was so much that we could do with the tool. And so what I would recommend as a user coming into the system is that know what the key items that are must-haves. Focus on those at first. You're going to want to be able to do a ton of things with these things with this tool, and we still do as well. But as you can see with my previous slides, we really focused on revenue, operating expenses, and EBITDA, and then a few of those non-financial measures like headcount. And we realized, hey, let's just get those out of the box. Let's show our executives, hey, look at what this can do. This is really cool. And we'll continue to build as we go along with using this product. So I think that was very valuable, and just recognizing, hey, we know we have a lot that we can do, but let's make this really good at first and then continue to roll out as we go on. The next takeaway would be Oracle Fusion's ERP's dimension hierarchies. At Greystar, we have, this is just tip of the iceberg, but our main parent level hierarchies would be we've separated out between domestic, United States, and international groups. And then we break it out by line of business at the domestic level, and then we break it out by continental region at the international level. And so that comes directly from our cost center hierarchy in ERP. And so our cost center hierarchy is, we use it for internal reporting. So being able to just leverage something that's already in ERP, our users are using it with Smart View reports to drill down and create their financials every month. Having something that mirrors that kind of proves that, hey, this system is exactly what our users are creating their financials off of. And so that's really important to get right whenever you're implementing OAX, is make sure that your cost center hierarchy is reflecting what you really want to see. And I think honestly that would help you at a ERP level too, not just for OAX. The last thing that I think is important to note for implementing OAX is to recognize the importance of financial categories in OAX. So in ERP, we actually didn't use financial categories when we first went live, and kind of a new thing for us when we implemented OAX. But when you have your natural account in the chart of account section in ERP, you have the opportunity to select a financial category. And the ERP comes with a set of, like, I'm making this up, like 15-ish financial categories that are assigned or that can be assigned. They're default out of the box financial categories. And what the OAX team has done is mapped these financial categories to common KPIs that companies would use, like revenue, like operating expenses, like profit, like you can see down the list of that screenshot there. And we were able to leverage these pre-built KPIs and go ahead and basically assign all of our natural accounts and make up those KPIs to the related financial categories in ERP. That was pivotal in making our implementation fast. We didn't have to build custom calculations for EBITDA. We didn't have to build custom calculations for revenue. Basically, OAX did it for us. So we could just click and drag, yep, I want to use the revenue measure, put it in there, and we have a graph. That was very important. I would stress that that was a good decision, and I would recommend that other people use it too. And now I'll hand it off to Nantha.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the OAX implementation and user experience. OAX is a packaged application and it doesn't require too many configurations. These are the 4 major configurations that is required for OAX: data load, data access, user roles, and SSO. Let's talk about data load. Loading the data from ERP Cloud to OAX is very simple. We need to provide a handful of configurations to launch the data pipeline. In few hours, the data will be loaded into the data warehouse. OAX controls the data access at the ledger level. In addition to that, we can also define data security assignments using security context like AP, AR business units. The third thing is user roles. OAX can leverage the ERP cloud job roles to control the application access. It minimizes the security setup and provides consistency between ERP cloud and OAX. Job roles can be grouped using the IDCS module in OAX, and users groups can be assigned to the users. We can also customize the job roles in OAX. Last one is single sign-on. OAX supports the single sign-on. ERP Cloud and IDCS can share the user roles once the connection is established. Now we are going to talk about the user experience. OAX is primarily based on three concepts: KPI, DEX, cards, and analytics. Pre-built KPIs is one of the most important components provided by OAX. These pre-built KPIs are built using seeded financial categories. No additional setups are required to run this KPI if you use the seeded financial category. DEX creation is very straightforward and no technical knowledge is required. Business users will be able to create DEX in few steps in OAX. OAX provides the seeded DEX for profitability, revenue analysis, and so on. The last one is analytics. Analytics are the backbone of KPI, cards, and DEX. Analytics can be built using drag and drop functions with the great visuals. Out of the box subject areas can be leveraged to build the analytics. KPIs and analytics are developed using the pre-built measures, which comes as part of the seeded subject areas in OAX. We can also create custom measures using simple Excel formulas in the analytics. Here is a summary of the long-term benefits that OAX, the Greystar is gained from OAX. It integrates directly from Oracle ERP system, which provides real-time data with minimal manipulations. It allows the connection to third-party systems and Greystar custom applications to pull non-financial data. It's significantly decreasing turnaround time for attack requests and financial views. It facilitates the customized data visualizations across the Greystar business segments. It will allow business managers to review transactional level detail and conduct balance sheet, payables, and receivable analysis in OAX. And that's about the story of Greystar and the benefit that we gain. And I want to thank Ash and team for giving us an opportunity to share our thoughts and experience.
Thank you, Nanta. That's an exciting story. My favorite part is how you're using OAX to really help drive the executive reviews in Greystar. We look forward to working with you to expand our offering to include procurement and projects. You are one of the design partners that we'll be working with. And once again, thank you for taking the time to be part of this session. And to those who are listening in to this webcast, hope you will enjoy this session. Good luck with your analytics journey and enjoy the rest of the Oracle Analytics Summit. Thank you.